Hare Krishna. शेषाशेषमुखाव्याख्या चातुर्ये त्वयैकवक्तृतः ददानम् अद्भुतं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. So we continue with our Bhagavad Gita as it is chapter 7, Bhakti Yoga section. We are currently in Dhyana Vijnana Yoga or knowledge of the Absolute. So Sumit Kumar Prabhu, can you please help me with the overview section, Prabhu?
Yes, Puji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm audible, Puji?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, Puji. So, 1 to 7, know Krishna in full along with his energies, material and spiritual energies, by hearing about him. Then 8 to 12 verse, how Krishna is pervades and is the essence of everything. Then from 13 to 14 verse, the three modes are controlled by Krishna, so therefore we should surrender. Then from 15 to 19th verse, four kind of people who do not surrender and four kind of people who surrender. And then from 20 to 25 verse, those who surrender to Krishna Netra, is those who surrender to demigods, worshipper and others except Krishna. And 26 to 30 verse, bewilderment of the living entity and knowledge of Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Hare Krishna.
So, so we are continuing with this section. Now we are in the section of, today we'll try to see from 20 to 25. So we already saw that Krishna says that I'll give you my complete knowledge, Jnana Vijnana, you will come to know everything about me. Then he tells about both his material and spiritual energies, and then how he pervades and is the essence of everything. And then he says that everything is rooted in the three modes, and three modes are under his control, but he is not in the three modes of material nature, or he is not under them. They are dependent upon him, but he is not dependent upon them. That's why he says. Then the question comes is, okay, so how do I come out of these modes of nature? If I don't surrender to you, and then the question of surrender comes. If I don't surrender, what happens? If you don't surrender, you will be in three modes of under the clutches of three modes of. If I have to surrender, then what I'm supposed to? I mean, if I'm supposed to get out of this three modes of material, what I'm supposed to do? Supposed to get out, take surrender, shelter of the Lord, or surrender unto me, like that Krishna says. And then in that section, from 16th, 15th, he says that who are those people who do not surrender to him? In four categories, he explains. 16 to 20, he spoke of the people who surrender unto him. And now he will speak, there are others who surrender, but not to Krishna. So who are this category of people? That he is going to explain between 20 to 25. So let's start see this. So that is basically the demigods and the impersonal, impersonalist or impersonal aspect worshippers of the Lord. So like that. Let's share the screen. Can you please allow me to share the screen?
Done, Prabhuji.
Okay, hope all of you are able to see my screen. Okay. Verse 20. कामस्तेस्तेर्हृतज्ञानः प्रपद्यन्ते न देवता तां तां प्रकृत्या नियता स्वया. Okay. Yeah. Anil Prabhu, Anil Sahu.
Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulation of worship according to their own natures.
Yeah. So here is very clear. Kamas there, jnana. Various desires are there in these people. And their jnana, hrita is they're stolen, their knowledge is stolen or less in knowledge. What they do in order to fulfill their desires very quickly, what they want then? They go to the other personalities. Who are there? The Anya Devata. So Devatas, they go to Prapadyante. There they want to surrender to him. And what to, but why do they go there? Why do they go there? Why, what do you call? And then there also, when they go, they start following very nicely, tam tam niyamam, because these demigods worship also has particular rules and regulations that they have to strictly follow. The path is there. So they go and follow that. According to the prakritya niyatah swaya, according to their natures, according to this natures. So that's what Krishna is saying that. So now in this section we find that because the persons, you see, one may ask about the position of those who surrender but not to Krishna. We say here, these persons are neither among the first four dushkritinas, unsurrendered people. Who are the four unsurrendered people? Anybody? Verse number 15 we saw.
Mura, Naradhama, Maya, Jnana, and
Ashrim Bhava.
Ashripa.
Asvim bhavam ashritaha. Yeah, four. Good. Okay. Then there are four who surrender or who are shukritinas. Who are they?
Artho अर्थार्थी जिज्ञासु and ज्ञानी.
Yeah. 1 minute. Excuse me. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Sorry. So, four categories. Who says this? So, now when Krishna is answering, so there are people. So we saw that in the previous four from verse numbers, those who surrender, so Sukritina, so they also have desires. They also have desires. The Sakama Bhaktas, we find that. And these are also Bhaktas of the demigods. They are also having desires, but they are going to the demigods, whereas some of them went to the Lord. So Krishna will slowly, as these four verses proceed, we will find that even if you have to be desire, better to desire from Krishna. That is a theme it will come. Better to be a Sakama Bhakta rather than Sakama Devata Bhakta. That's it. So better to be. Why? That we will find. Because people go to the Devatas also for quick results. That also we will find. And at the same time, and based upon their natures. See, the beauty is who has created these paths? If you see, it is created by Krishna only. Krishna is facilitating these paths. Now, one question I have as this process also. If bhakti is the only thing ultimately that one has to get it, then why is Krishna facilitating these paths? Various demigod worship. In the scriptures, it is he ultimately who has given these paths to go to the demigods and all this. Anyone?
So actually every people are not in the same modes.
One word, Beta. We'll have have a conduct in the class, now will just raise their hands and I'll get to see and I'll request accordingly. Yeah. Who was already saying it? Okay, Sumit.
I was
Okay,
saying,
you are okay. Yes, yes.
actually, Puji, means every people are not in the same modes. As we know, like in mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance, there is a different kind of worship are there.
Mhm.
So, like every people get advanced in their life. So that's why Krishna is given.
Yeah, good. Any more? Anybody want to add something from among those who raised their hands?
Same Prabhuji, like living entity is so adamant that he wants to try different ways. So that's why what Prabhu has told, there are according to the modes of nature, the person in he has the options to go through it.
Good, good. That is true. As what you always said is correct. Because see, if you just put the highest pedestal of pure bhakti, many will become upset. So Lord also knows, according to their gradations. That's why you find even scriptures, Puranas. There is Puranas in the mode of ignorance, Puranas in the mode of passion, Puranas in the mode of goodness. We find that. See, sometimes scriptures are also divided and given according to the needs of the people. That's why Lord is facilitating according to their natures. Everybody in this world, we already seen that in the different modes. And surely, so they have a gradation then accordingly. But the Lord is putting everybody under the umbrella of the Vedas, umbrella of the Vedic culture. That is the beauty of the Lord. So that at least wherever they are, from whichever point they are, at least there is a scope for them to look towards the Lord slowly, slowly. So that is the beauty. Lord is not just, he's just giving. But how, you see how he is only actually facilitating through the demigod worship also. Actually, he's only facilitating, that we'll get to see in the verses to come. He's the one who gives, he is facilitating this demigod worship path. He is facilitating the faith in them. He will facilitate the benefits and fruits also in them. So all these things is provided. So one will think, where if one has that intelligence, will think, everything is coming from, on the background, it is coming from the Lord. Why not surrender to the Lord? But that thought doesn't come so easily in everyone. So, yeah, we will just see Prabhupada's purport, which has clarity. Yeah, may I request Shrikar Prabhu? Prabhu, can you please read?
Those who are freed from all material contamination surrender unto the Supreme Lord in his devotional service. As long as the material contamination is not completely washed off, they are by nature non-devotees. But even those who have material desires and who resort to the Supreme Lord are not so much attached, are not much attracted by external nature. Because of approaching the right goal, they soon become free from all material lust.
Yeah, that is coming to the Lord actually. Yeah.
As stated in Bhagavatam 2.3.10,
Akamah sarvakamo va mokshakama udaradihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Yeah, please read.
less intelligent people who are lost their spiritual sense take shelter of demigods for immediate fulfillment of material desire. Generally, such people do not go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they are in the lower modes of nature, ignorance, and passion, and therefore worship the various demigods. Following the rules and regulation of worship, they are satisfied. The worshippers of demigod are motivated by small desires and do not know how to reach the supreme good. But devotee of the Supreme Lord is not misguided. Because in the Vedic literature, there are recommendations for worshipping different gods for different purposes. Example, a deceased man is recommended to worship the sun. Those who are not devotees of the Lord think that for a certain purpose, demigods are better than the Supreme Lord. In
Yeah.
Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 5.142, it is said, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasabha
Bhritya.
Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the master, and all others are servants. Therefore, a pure devotee never goes to demigods for satisfaction of his material needs. He depends on the Supreme Lord, and the pure devotee is satisfied with whatever he gives. Surrender.
Yes. No, that is right. So yes. So here it is in the sense, as per Bhagavatam also, if at all, even you have some material desires, then why to go to the demigods? Directly go to the Supreme Lord only. That's why this verse, Akama Sarva Kamoha, whether you are Akama. Akama here means one who is practitioner of path of bhakti, like that. Sarva Kama, if you are having full of material desires, no problem. Full of material, then better to go to Krishna. Moksha Kama, even if you have desire for liberation, this is for jnanis, yogis, and other categories. The impersonalist jnanis. Tivrena Bhakti Yogena means do bhakti and then ask for this. Better to go to the Supreme Lord rather than going to the demigods. Why so? That we are continuing to see it. That we are continuing to see, because simple, the demigods worshippers, or they are less intelligent. At the same time, the things that will be provided by the demigods, the benedictions, everything, that will be temporary. That as we proceed further, we can see that. So now Krishna comes to next. Now when we are worshipping these demigods, see, if you say that, see, this person is good, please what do you call it, serve him or do the needful for him and all those things. For to doing that, first of all, you need to have faith upon that person, or gives that kind of confidence. Yes, this person is so and so and so. If you say like that, and at the end of the you say, but you don't have to, you do say, but he's not such a good person, where you cannot say that. What I mean to say is, just to worship the Devata, there is certain amount of faith, certain amount of confidence is required. That is also given by the Lord. Shraddha. In this world, what we do is depends upon one's Shraddha. Sometimes we are made up of our own Shraddha only. So that is also comes in 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We find that one lives by one's faith in this world, actually, accordingly. So next verse will tell about, okay, these are people who go to the demigods. They are less intelligent. They go according to their natures. Then what else? What else? The Lord is saying that I only provide their faith, the demigod also. Yo yo yam tanum bhaktaha shraddharchitum ichhati tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadamyaham. Okay. Mandar Sahastra Budevu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, very well.
Translation: I am in everyone's heart as the super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity.
Yeah. See, Vidadami, he says, I only give. Aham, I only give. What I give? Shraddha. What Shraddha? Achala Shraddha. Steady, so that he feels for that demigod, so that he practices. If it's Shraddha, he does it. Not that just for namesake he does it. No, Shraddha. Because yo yanam tanum bhakta. So this because he wants to architum ichhati. He wants now desires. He has a desire to be fulfilled. So for that he wants to go to the demigod, and then for him he has to worship the demigod. So that with that Shraddha he's want to worship the Lord. And this tanum bhaktaha, and that bhakta. You see, sometimes we have this notion, bhakta is the word only used for Krishna or Vishnu worshippers, nobody. No. You see here very clearly, Krishna himself is telling, tanum bhaktaha means what? The worshipper of demigod. See, bhakta means what? Jo jisko bhasta hai, wo uska bhakt. Simple. If you are worshipping the Supreme Lord, you will be what you call Krishna bhakta or Vishnu bhakta or Ram or Narsimha. And if you are worshipping the Indra or other devatas, that bhakta. Simple. The bhakta word is used by Krishna himself. So I should have this notion that only devotees of the Supreme Personality of Ram, Lakshman, Narasimha, Varaha, only they are called as, others are not called as. Then what else you call? so, so here if you see, it's quite interesting. In the translation, Prabhupada, you see, I am in everyone's heart as super soul. It's not there only. You see, in the one-to-word meaning verse also, it is not there. So this is that is called. He understands. Prabhupada also understands that. Of course, it is the Acharya's right, and the Baldev Vidyabhushan writes starts with that in his purport. So Prabhupada picks from there. At the same time, Prabhupada also knows how the Shraddha is given to a person. Shraddha is an internal thing. So that is given by the Supreme Lord, who is sitting as Paramatma in his heart. So that has been provided by the Lord. You see, so from within the heart, Lord as Paramatma is providing Shraddha for the demigod worship. See, the Lord is so selfless, and he's looking for the overall welfare of the devotee. You see how much udar he is. If you see, usually, let us say, somebody, you are the boss and you have people under you, and somebody comes. Rather than coming to you, he goes to a lower person. Ideally, you are supposed to be approached, but he goes to a lower person and does his things. You feel very uncomfortable, very embarrassed, right? So, whereas the Lord, he's not even feeling embarrassed. He's actually helping him. Okay, if not me, no problem. You go to the demi. No problem. By that, at least he's facilitating for them. By that, at least, he will eventually come to me. Like that. It's not Krishna's ways. If not me, then no one. No. If not me, no problem. Even through somebody, we can help. Like that. So that is like a nature of the father. Sometimes the children doesn't listen. Then the father doesn't say, I am your protector. I am your everything. You are born to me and everything. I am taking care of. No, sometimes you find the child is naughty or child doesn't listen. He's ready to facilitate through other people for the overall good for the child. That's how Krishna's nature is. It's a big thing that he's sitting in the heart and giving faith to him. Okay, you have little interest towards this demigod, no problem. You worship him. You'll get this benefits, this. So continue to worship him. Why? At least that is better than he becoming atheist. Rather than saying that there is no God, there is no forget about God, forget about demigod. Rather than say, at least the Lord is so merciful, he feels that at least he will have that faith that there is some supreme power who are giving us facilities, benedictions, and all that things. So that is the udara nature of the Lord. So that Prabhupada also says in his purport, if you see. Okay. And Prabhupada starts with that thing. Okay. Aman Kumar.
Yes, Prabhuji. Purport. God has given independence to everyone. Therefore, if a person desires to have material enjoyment and wants very sincerely to have such facilities from the material demigods, the Supreme Lord, as Super Soul in everyone's heart, understands and gives facilities to such persons. As the Supreme Father of all living entities, he does not interfere with their independence, but gives all facilities so that they can fulfill their material desires. Some may ask why the all powerful God gives facilities to the living entities for enjoying this material world and so lets them fall into the trap of illusory energy. The answer is that if the Supreme Lord as Super Soul does not give such facilities, then there is no meaning to independence.
Say.
Therefore,
Please continue.
Therefore, he gives everyone full independence, whatever one likes, but his ultimate instruction we find in Bhagavad Gita that will make man happy.
No, one should you read that line out.
One should give up all other engagements and fully surrender unto him. That will make man happy.
Continue.
Both the living entity and the demigods are subordinate to the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the living entity cannot worship the demigod by his own desire. nor can the demigod bestow any benediction without the supreme will. As it is said, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the supreme personality of Godhead.
Last portion.
And because a particular living entity wants to enjoy a particular material facility, the Lord inspires him with a strong desire to achieve that benediction from that particular demigod. And so he successfully receives the benediction. The particular mode of the devotional attitude of the living entity toward a particular type of demigod is also arranged by the Supreme Lord. The demigods cannot infuse the living entities with such an affinity, but because he is the Supreme Lord or the Super Soul who is present in the hearts of all living entities, Krishna gives impetus to man to worship certain demigods. The demigods are actually different parts of the universal body of the Supreme Lord, therefore, they have no independence.
See, this is the beauty of the Lord. See, here it is very clearly said. The particular mode of devotional attitude of the living entity towards a particular devotee is arranged. And how does he arrange? See, the demigod cannot infuse the living entity with an affinity, but because he is the Supreme Lord, the Super Soul, who is present in the hearts of the living entities, Krishna gives him impetus to worship him. So it is very clear, because he is sitting in the heart of the living entity within that living entity. So from there, actually, he is giving that impetus. Because that means, you see, this is a striking point that all of us has to remember. Even in the demigod worship, it's not the demigod who's giving him faith. It's the Lord who's giving him faith in his worship of him. This point has to be has to be seen. So he's giving the path through the demigods. He's giving the Shraddha from within to worship. What a selfless nature. Just looking for the overall welfare of the being and respecting his independence. Because Krishna doesn't want that by forcibly he drags him to the spiritual world. No, he wants that he lovingly, with his own right kind of free will, he comes back to him. Because love is a matter of choosing one's own free will rightly. It cannot be forced. An independence of a living entity cannot be forced. So that's how Lord is respecting one's independence. Next. So now next Krishna will say that even the faith the demigod worship is given by Krishna, not the demigods. That is clear. And now he will say, even the fruits are awarded. That are also awarded by him. Sataya Shraddhaya Yuktas Tasyaradhanam Ehate Labate Chatataha Kaman Mayeva Vihitan Hitan. Yeah, may I request Karuna Brajesh Prabhu.
Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desire. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone.
You see, again the Lord is saying, you see, how emphasis is there. Mayeva, me only. Vihitan, you see, what Prabhupada is arranging. Me only is arranging. For what? Labate tata kaman, for his desires to be fulfilled. To the demigods to whom he is worshipping, he is saying this. Sataya Shraddhaya Yuktas Tasya Arathanam Ihate. Whoever demigod he is worshipping, then for him the facilities that are been coming, the benefits are provided by me. So till now, three things. The path is provided for facilitating indirect worship through the demigods. The faith is provided by the Lord. And the facilities is been provided by the Lord through the demigod. Now one may say the demigod doesn't have anything of his own. All of us have seen in the beginning, everything is coming from the Lord. He is the owner and controller of everything. Like the central government, let us say in the state, everything is controlled by the main central government. But it provides funds to the state government So the state government doesn't have. It has to be provided by the central government, and state minister is utilizing it to be awarded accordingly to the citizens. A similar kind of facility is there, but ultimately it is coming from the Lord. It is He who is facilitating even the benefits or the benedictions that the demigods is giving. So, okay, please continue with the purport. 1 minute. Huh? I will request Himanshu Prabhu.
Guruji. The demigods cannot award benediction to their devotees without the permission of the Supreme Lord. The living entity may forget that everything is the property of the Supreme Lord, but the demigods do not forget. So the worship of demigods and achievement of desired result due uh, are due not to the demigods but to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by arrangement. The less intelligent living entity does not know this, and therefore he foolishly goes to the demigods for some benefit. But the pure devotee, when in need of something, prays only to the Supreme Lord. Asking for material benefit, however, is not a sign of a pure devotee.
Yeah.
Devotional service
Continue.
Devotional service to the Supreme Lord and the worship of a demigod cannot be on the same platform because worship of a demigod is material and devotional service to the Supreme Lord is completely spiritual.
Yeah, this difference is very clearly said. A worship of the demigod is completely material because people approach with a mentality of getting something material. And devotional service to the Lord is completely spiritual. One may start going with, towards the Lord with a what you call material desire, but Lord is the one who purifies it. He purifies thoroughly. That's why many of them have this conception also. That that if you worship Krishna, it will he doesn't give things so easily. Because that's the nature of the Lord. There's His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, who you were sharing, that when they were in this new Vrindavan, there was always a crisis of money and this thing, always difficulty, as usually we find in devotee circles. So then, but Maharaj says that near to that place there was another kind of a yogi, whereas their organizations has very good facilities, systematic, everything, many things were available for them, but very opulent, everything. So whereas here it was very tough. So once they approached and went there and see this all wonderful facilities, they are having everything. So Maharaj says that when they asked them, uh,
I think Proji has lost connection. I'll check once.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Proji.
No,
Yes.
sorry for the, I don't know, suddenly the laptop got switched off and itself got switched on. So sorry for the interruption. So I was saying that uh, that Maharaj, they went to the organization and asked the yogi and all this. He said that you are devotees of Krishna. So this will be always with you in your case. Krishna doesn't provide so easily. And he provides just whatever is required for your need. So two options. So what shall we do? Two options. Either you change the deity and start worshiping. So that is not possible. Change the process. Not possible. So both things we cannot do it. So that's how Lord is. Because Lord has that nature. He wants to make sure that his devotees' goal cannot be material. Like somebody is bent after asking Krishna so much, he will see. If he feels that by giving this, he will progress, but nothing will happen in his devotional service, he will give. Even he will take from all others and give. Like for Pandavas, he made sure that that comes to that Raja. Otherwise, what? Simple. He would have done, okay, anyway, I will facilitate you in Dwarka. He would have said that. Example. Anyway, but no, he wants that these should be the rulers. These are my devotees, and this has to be. They have to. Yudhishthir Maharaj was not at all interested, but still, Dhruva Maharaj was not at all interested. Still, Lord gave. What he gave, there's no opulence till date who has anybody has achieved, even beyond Brahma. So that's how the Lord gives. He knows that a devotee will be stable. Otherwise, usually he just gives whatever is required. And always always we find there is shortage of money in terms of many things sometimes. Prabhu, ye tight hai, wo tight hai, that right. It will be like that only. Because he wants to keep our goal, keep him as a shelter and goal very nicely. That may not be the cause with others. So that always makes us, and some may get frustrated with that. But that's how, if you understand Krishna nicely, then we don't. Because in Chaitanya Charitamrita, very nice things are said that Krishna kahe ami bhaje mange vishaya sukha amrita chhadi vishay mange ei bada murkha ami vigya ei murkhe vishaya kene diba so charanamrita diya vishaya bhulaiba. So he says that Krishna is saying, Krishna kahe ami bhaje mange vishaya sukh. Oh, you want to worship me and also ask vishaya sukh? He says, Amrita chhadi mange, hey bada murkh. Are at my lotus foot there is Amrita, and still you are asking what you ask for others. He said, you may be Ami Vidya, hey murkhe, Vishay Kena Diba. You may be a murkh, but I know what is supposed to be given. So you cannot demand me so easily. Swa Charanamrita, I will give Charanamrita, Vishay Bhulaiba. So initially, when we are not so stable in our Krishna consciousness, we say that there is neither Charanamrit coming, neither Vishaya Sukh coming. So that is a sadhaka's life. Don't have to worry. Sadhaka's. But if you stick to yes, so Charanamrita Diya, yes. If you try to open your eyes that actually by Prabhupada's mercy, we have been given Swacharanamrita. Yeah, is it not? The devotional service is given to us. The biggest gift that we has given, Krishna has given through his and to come to the Guru Parampara is the gift of Krishna consciousness. Gift of Krishna consciousness. And yes, Vaishnava association and facilities, temples, and in an organized way. To be frank with, if it is not still in an organized way, we would have not able to progress or make into so serious. But still, Prabhupada has programmed in such a way that all the devotional activities and one can make advancement in Krishna consciousness. So that is a beauty. So that's why. So the 1 minute. Sorry, I did not share my screen. So now, yes. So this is, yeah. And Krishna has this another nature also. In Chaitanya Chandra, again it comes. Say bhakt dhanya yena chhade prabhu racharan. Say prabhu dhanya yena chhade nija jan. Durdaiva sevak yadi yaya anyastane. Say thakura dhanya tare chuli dhare ane. For a true servant, the Lord, say bhakta dhanya. That bhakta is very dhanya who never leaves the lotus feet of the Lord. But say Prabhu Dhanya, he also doesn't leave his servant. So that's why once we take shelter of the Lord, once we take to path of Krishna consciousness, Krishna also doesn't leave so easily. Durdaiva sevak yadi yayanyastani. But still, the servant has a nature of again want to see the grass is more greener on the other side. The Lord will make sure that he holds his chuli, as one says, make sure that he pulls it back or frustrates him thoroughly. So that's how Lord, that is the nature of the Lord. He also love his servants and wants to give them the highest thing. So, so this is what is 22nd. So he's also facilitating 23. But now that's quite interesting thing. Now he says that after saying that fruits that the demigods offer, their worshippers are ultimately awarded by Krishna. Now on 23rd verse, he will say, Krishna will now compare the destination of demigods worshippers with that of his bhaktas. And what is the nature of the results or nature of the benedictions that are been given by the demigods and the Supreme Lord. So that we'll see. Antavattu phalam tesham tad bhavati alpamedasam devan deva yajo yanti madbhakta yanti mam api. Okay. So, on request. Lalit Prabhu.
Translation. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet.
Yeah. So, an interesting question. See, to the devotees of the Devatas, you give temporary results. For your devotees, you give permanent results. Is it not unjust? Is it not? What do you all say? Sumit Kumar. Yes, please. Hopefully you all got the question. I'll just repeat the question again. Sorry. See, he's awarding, right? To your devotees, to your the devotees of the bhakta, you see, you are on background giving, na? To them you are giving temporary results. And for your devotees, you are giving permanent results. Is it not? Is it not? Is it not unjust?
So
Yes,
it is not unjust because actually Krishna is giving, but we are desiring. What we are desiring, we are looking for permanent thing or temporary thing. That depends upon us because we are using our free will.
Okay.
Rohit, can I try?
Yeah, okay. Wait a minute. Aradhan Prabhu, yes.
So, Prabhuji, I feel because demigods themselves are
Your voice.
the fruits which are awarded
No,
on their
repeat it.
behalf
I couldn't hear
also
your
are.
voice. Haribol, I could not repeat. Repeat it. I couldn't hear you.
Hello, am I audible now?
Yeah.
Demigods themselves are not permanent. So the fruits which are awarded on their behalf, they also cannot be permanent. No?
Yeah, good. See, it will be like funny thing, right? He is temporary, whereas his follower is getting something permanent. How it is? It doesn't make sense. It is not unjust from the Supreme Lord. See, because it is very logical that a person attains what he worships. The demigods are temporary. How can their devotees become permanent? And how come the results of the worship that becomes permanent? That's why the Lord is saying this worshippers of the Devatas are Alpamedasa. Initially, he used that Hrita Jnana. Their Jnana is, they are less intelligent. Again, he is using a word, Alpamedha, means that they are not intelligence. Whereas the Supreme Personality of God, it is eternal. And therefore, he can give that which is eternal. Let me complete. Their bhakti and the results of their bhakti are also eternal. Now, somebody may say, but are not temporary results? I mean, material also are asked to the Supreme Lord. What about that? And that are not permanent, right? Question for all of you. You got my
Could you please
point?
repeat once? Could you
I
please
said, you see, demigods, it's very clear. Lord is eternal, so he will give that results to his devotees, which is eternal. But still we find, are there not people who go for the Lord also material desires? Do you mean to say that material desires are permanent? That is also eternal? That's what I'm asking. Yeah, Anil Sahu.
Lord, whatever it will give is eternal, but it will purify us. So we did not use that result in a wrong purpose. So even that available with us, that is not harmful for us.
Yeah, good. See, main thing is, even let us say Lord is awarding one thing is, if it is needed for the devotee for his service at the same time glorifying, he may be allowed to utilize it, not for his personal sense gratification. And if the Lord sees that no, giving it, he may restrain from giving it. That is a beauty. Whereas demigod cannot restrain from giving it. After once you do upasana, this thing, he has to, let us say that required upasana and required this thing is done, he becomes obliged. For example, the central government, Modi has said that, okay, all the states during Corona period, so and so amount has to be sanctioned to all the people of your states. And then the state government is supposed to sanction it. That's all. That is coming from them. Or whatever is the need that has to be done. So the people deserve it, and it has been sanctioned, it has been given. Whereas the Lord keeps the right in terms of his temporary material benefits, whether to give, how much to give, not to give, all this. But more than that, Lord can give the permanent results which the demigods cannot give. This point has to be very clear. So then he tells about, all of us see that the destination is also very nicely spoken here. We saw that. Destination, he said, yeah, if you worship the demigods, you'll go to the demigod planet. And if you worship me, you will worship to my planet. That is his abode. Okay. Can I request to read our Rasarasik Prabhu?
Okay, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Some commentators on the Bhagavad Gita says that one who worships a demigod can reach the Supreme Lord. But here it is clearly stated that the worshippers of demigods go to the different planetary systems where various demigods are situated. Just as a worshipper of the sun achieves the sun, or a worshipper of the demigod of the moon achieves the moon. Similarly, if anyone wants to worship demigod like Indra, he can attain that particular god's planet. It is not that everyone, regardless of whatever demigod is worshipped, will reach the supreme personality of Godhead. That is denied here. For it is clearly stated that the worshipper of demigods go to different planets in the material world, but the devotees of the Supreme Lord goes directly to the supreme planet of personality of Godhead.
Yeah. Okay. This portion also.
The results achieved by demigods' benedictions are perishable because within this material world, the planets, the demigods, and their worshippers are all perishable. Therefore, it is clearly stated in this verse that all results achieved by worshipping demigods are perishable, and therefore such worship is performed by the less intelligent living entity.
Yeah, thank you. Less intelligent living entity. Less intelligent. Okay. Next. So this is very clear. Krishna, you see, is from 20 to 23. These 4 verses talks about that aspect of surrendering apart from worship. What is that? First is giving the path, facilitating through the demigod worship. He's giving the Shraddha in that path or in that worship of the demigod. And then third, he's facilitating the benedictions for that living entity. Right? That is the so these 3 things are being provided by the Lord through the demigods. And one who is intelligent will think, अरे बचा क्या है फिर demigod के पास? Everything is coming from the Lord and he's only in between. Why not worship him? Three things are very major part. The Shraddha, that is a very striking thing. Shraddha is given by the Lord. And facilities are provided by the Lord. And then, so why not worship him? That should be the thought. But Krishna says two words. Gnana apahrata or gnana harta. That's what you call lost their intelligence. Alpamedasa, he said that they are not intelligent. So this is about the demigods. Now there is, apart from this, there is another category which is coming in the next verse, who also do not surrender to Krishna, but something else. What is that? Let's try to see that. Avyaktam vyaktamapannam manyate mam abuddhaya param bhavam majananto mama vyayam anuttamam. Okay. Ayan Prabhu, are you there? Okay. Dharivan Ram Prabhu.
Yes, Lord. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme.
Yeah, it is very clear. Avyaktam, Vyaktamapannam. He says, previously he was not manifest. From that, actually, higher than this personality form is that which is in an unmanifested form. So that kind of mentality is also there in the people. So they say that we have to surrender to that unmanifested and taking the help of currently whatever is manifested form that has been available. Why? Because to focus on the unmanifested, it is very difficult. And we are always used in this material world to focus on the forms, objects, and everything. So that is why even for that, this is a step which will help. So that is their understanding. Manyate, like that they think. Manyate. So those kind of categories of people, what Krishna says to them, Krishna says, Abuddhaya. So for demigod worshippers, he used Alpameda, very less intelligent. And here also is an Abuddha, less intelligent. The Buddhi is less. Because, why they are less? Because they do not understand Param Bhavam. This Bhava means existence, one of the existence, nature, all this. This has multiple meanings. So my existence, Ajananto, they do not know my existence. What is my existence? It is Mama Avyayam Anuttamam. It is supreme. Anuttamam, it is supreme. It is fine. It is Avyaya. It is imperishable. Not that my form gets imperished and then it becomes impersonal. No, nothing like that. So that point is. So this is directly hitting upon the aspect of impersonal worshippers. Okay. Vishnu Prabhu, can you read this?
Those who are worshippers of demigods have been described as less intelligent persons, and here the impersonalists are similarly described. Lord Krishna in his personal form is here speaking before Arjuna, and still, due to ignorance, impersonalists argue that the Supreme Lord ultimately has no form.
No form. See?
Persons who are under the impression that the absolute truth is impersonal are described as Abhuddhaya, which means those who do not know the ultimate feature of the absolute truth. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that supreme realization begins from the impersonal Brahman and then rises to the localized supersoul. But the ultimate word in the absolute truth is the personality of Godhead.
Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. That first canto, second chapter, 11th verse.
Impersonalists, therefore, not knowing the supreme truth, think Krishna to be only the son of Devaki and Vasudev, or a prince or a powerful living entity. This is also condemned in the Bhagavad Gita 9.11. Avajananti mam muda nanusim tanum
Manushim
ashrit.
Tanam Ashritam. Yeah.
Only the fools regard me as an ordinary person.
Yeah. So you see, this is the understanding those people. So what is that understanding they carry? This is that understanding. So they think that they think that this unintelligent, this is abuddhaya people, this thing that the formless Brahman beyond the material world, Avyaktam, has his birth, has taken his birth in the house of Vasudeva as Vyaktam, like that they think, with an illusory form. This is not also permanent form, this is also insane, which is now visible in front of us as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. And because they do not understand the transcendental state of the Lord. Transcendental Lord can have a body which is transcendental, which is different from your own body. That's why Krishna says, Mama, Param, he says that Param Bhavam Ajanto, he's using that word in third line. This, since he does not understand my actual state. That is that famous verse Prabhupada used to say that Janma Karma Chime Divyam. They do not know how my form, my birth, my activities are actually divya. They are not ordinary as a birth, activities, and form of an ordinary living. Then what state is that? That is very clearly stated, as we said. Avyam is Avyayam and Anuttamam, more excellent and eternal form. So that has been glorified. So, but if somebody asks, so Prabhupada is giving as a purport in an answer where he's saying that how to understand the Lord. The fact is that no one can understand Krishna without rendering devotional service, without developing Krishna consciousness. And this is a famous verse. We can understand Lord only by his mercy. Athapite devapadambujam dvaya prasadaleshanata grihita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno na janya eko pichiran vichinvan. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the supreme personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. So that's why the mercy of the Lord, mercy of the devotee is very much important in order to appreciate the transcendental form of the Lord. And that's why otherwise one cannot understand. So that's why, and the mercy of the Lord and his devotees is very important. That's why even one may able to read Sanskrit, one may be able to read the scriptures, whatever may be, but he will not be able to understand until unless there is mercy of the Lord devotees. Okay, that's all. So this covers this section between two. Fifth one is like 25th is now that is concluding and that is coming up. So we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions? Yes, Abhishek Zarda. 1 minute. Yeah. Yes, Abhishek, please.
But I need one clarification. As you
Yeah.
said that the material benedictions offered by Krishna are also permanent. I wanted to know how.
Material or benediction offered by Krishna are permanent. Did I say really that?
Something, or maybe I might have heard wrongly. So can you please clear? Okay.
Material benedictions offered by Krishna, he sees what he call the overall good. If a devotee needs it, and then he will utilize it in this, and his bhakti is stable, he may give it. He may give it. It's not that devotees of Krishna has to be always whatever they ask, little material also he will not give it. Is it so? Is it not that our devotees they don't get jobs? Our devotees are only beggars. They are not getting good positions. Right?
And they get.
But yes, how much? That Lord will decide. And sometimes if it is not bringing him closer, he may remove within seconds. Our Vivek Bindra Prabhu, he said in his he said in one of his, he said, when I went to my spiritual master in front of him, then he said, do not be proud. Krishna can take everything within seconds. So Maharaj, he said, my Guru always humbles me, making me understand that don't be proud. of your talents or of your capacities. So he was saying, whenever I go in front of Maharaj, he humbles me. What I mean to say is, currently in our life, Krishna will do. At the same time, it's mostly come the advice or things through the material nature. He does it. At the same time, we get instructions from Guru also. Guru and the Vaishnavas indications how to look into. Is it clear?
So, Prabhuji, basically, they're like temporary, but if it facilitates us to come more closer to Krishna, Krishna will give that.
Yeah, yes. Is it not?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yes, yes.
Money,
Correct,
will the
Prabhuji.
devotee carry money from here to the spiritual world?
No.
Does he carry his home and other things? No, Prabhu, devotees are special. Krishna's devotees are special because they carry everything. They carry their body, they carry everything. Oh, that would have been great then everything. It's not so, right? Krishna doesn't. He will give you spiritual world and spiritual body. And why he will carry, he will tell you to carry all these things which is material anyway. He has better things to offer. It is our attachment that can I carry this to further. That's why he awards. Okay, you want more? So okay, take another body and facilitate it. Is it clear, Abhishek?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one more can I ask?
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Please.
Prabhuji, like in demigod's case also, if you see that Krishna is the who actually gives that benediction, then like we see various examples in the scriptures where like Brahmaji is giving benediction to Hiranyakashipu, or like Shivji is giving benediction to some of his devotees. So in that case, they have given there independently, or like how means?
No. The demigods, when they are giving, they always are knowing that our powers are coming from the Lord. Like Brahmaji, he has the capacity to create this material world and put the living entities according to their karmas into various bodies. But he is very cautious that creative energy is given to me by the Supreme Lord. Now, on the end, how the living entities utilize, that is the free will of the living entities. That is his independence. That independence is given. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. You still appears to be having some doubt.
Means what my question like in the sense that sometimes we have seen that Krishna, like in conversation in Krishna and Shiva, that like Shiva means demigods, they gives their benedictions, they gives the benedictions without seeing that on the other hand we see the Krishna, he sees the purpose and everything, so that
Okay.
just
Yeah, that is true now.
Yes, that is.
So where is the contradiction?
No, as such.
Yeah, true. Yes, Avinash. Is it okay, Abhishek?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Okay. Yes, Avinash.
Prabhuji, benedictions offered by demigods are perishable, but they do not forget that whatever benedictions they are giving on the strength of Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay.
So why they cannot award permanent benefits on the strength of the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
What
is
do you
it
think?
like maybe they are given that much independence?
Then the demigod will become Supreme Lord, na? Then what is it? What do you expect? You are saying is like, why can't our CM give all that what Modi can give? Your question is similar to that, I think. Anyway, everything is coming from Modi only, and CM is also there in the state. Why can't he give what Modi gives? What do you think? I'm just giving an analogy for limited understanding, not opening the whole thing. Is it clear?
It is not in their right.
Yeah, in their right, and they have limited. Who are they? Demigods, you tell me. Are they what? Are the living entities, or they are the what do you call? They are the Supreme Lord.
Yeah, living entities only.
They are living entities with some empowerment, right? And all demigods are also not of equal power, right? Then you can ask why this demigod can give, why that demigod cannot give that thing. Again, you can ask that question also. What sun can give, why can't other demigod give? Again, there will be Virodhabhas in that also, right?
Yeah.
Is it not? That means what? In a state also we find Prime Minister is there above everybody, but he has a cabinet ministry and he has different categories of ministers who have been awarded with certain power. A sport minister cannot give his things to somebody else. That's why in demigod worship, what do you find? People go according to their inclinations, they go to the different respective demigods. Not that what do you call? He goes to here in, and certain things may be common. In some demigods can give this also, this also. That is there, certain things. But exclusively, if you go in Bhagavatam, if you find I think in second canto, I think the list is there completely. Which demigod can give what, and what people approach for. That list is exclusively given. Is it clear?
Clear.
Okay, thank you. Who's this Shantanu Prabhu apart from Shantanu Velankar? Is it you
No,
only?
Prajit. Yes, Prajit, for recording purpose.
Okay. I get confused.
No,
Okay,
no.
yes. Please tell.
Prabhuji, we find in many instances that Krishna asks the Pandavas and other devotees to worship some demigod, like in case of Akshay Patra. Yudhishthir Maharaj worships sun god and he gets the Akshay Patra. So why in that case
Yudhishthir Maharaj worships
a sun god to get the Akshay Patra? So why in such cases the Pandavas even approach demigods if they are pure devotees of Krishna?
You see, you find when Krishna is coming, what do you call? When he's coming in this material world also, it's like, see, he's doing Nar Leela, na, Prabhu. Everywhere, if he says that I'm only, if you see Krishna, and if you apply that logic, you can apply everywhere. Why battle of Kurukshetra has to be there only? Can't be avoided through logic. You're getting the point, right? But you see, the Lord facilitates also, right? In this world. Like Yadu's getting cursed by the Brahmanas. And now he's a supreme Lord. He can get completely, no, he facilitates. And there are demigods who have been facilitating. He respects the demigods, like in the battlefield, you find the sun rises, battle starts, sun sets, battle starts. He also follows it, right? When the Lord comes in this material world, he has his leelas, but at the same time, practically, at certain places, he shows his supremacy. That is sure. But that does not mean that always he's showing his supremacy. Actually, much more than that, Lord comes for his sweet leelas with the devotees. You have to understand that. And all other demigods are a part of the leelas. They facilitate wherever it is required. Is it clear, Prabhu?
Yes. Because many
Yes,
places we
quite
see
possible.
that, because people will then say that Krishna is only telling us to worship, because they say in the Mahabharata that Yudhishthir Maharaj is told to worship sun god, and Arjuna is told to go to Indra and take some weapons, or he goes to Shiva and takes Pashupatastra and
Why
many
to
other
speak
things.
that? Even he himself, he also gets his own weapons and his own things from here and there everywhere. So what does it mean? He doesn't have permanently with him, or what? How do you apply that logic then? People can say. That's why. That's why you all are not ordinary people, right? You all are hearing and you are having understanding. And if you say that people say and you take people's position, that means who's your authority? That's the question. You want to make people as your authority, Google as your authority, or the acharyas and guru and what has been told that as an authority, and speak upon the strength of that. Even the whole world says, don't practice devotional service. A devotee who has faith, he will practice devotional service. Damn to do with the world's opinion. Of course, that I don't mean to say is we should not do samanvai. We should try to explain and try to give a logic. I'm not saying no. But we have to understand that fact also. But public opinion, please, public opinion, and people said that. Who's that people you tell me? Who's that person who tell me? People have so many opinions. They deny Krishna only. They say that Krishna has performed this Mahabharata, that's why he's in hell today. So do you agree to that? People say like that. I don't agree. Where is the Praman? Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you. And now who's that? Mandar Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Hopefully I'm spelling right. Mandar Prabhu, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
So, Prabhuji, actually, you told like everybody in this world is under the umbrella of the Vedas. Means at last everybody is worshipping some demigod and they are getting some benedictions.
Indirectly.
Indirectly for particular purpose. So now, I mean, this all things are made so that people can be under some moral principles, because it is like even they follow the Vedas, they cannot go back to Godhead. They cannot get that Bhakti Sukruti, that they will come back to Godhead or they will merge into Brahman like that. So means what is then the purpose of giving the Vedas? Is it moral principle that people will not do sinful activities, they can live here, or something else?
Yeah. See, Prabhu, Vedas, it is a broad Vedas facilitating means like what? They are being given that according to the natures, the Lord is facilitating through the Vedas so that they remain in the fold of Vedas in the sense slowly they can make progress according to their natures and understanding higher aspect, and eventually ultimately come to the surrender to the Lord. Now, surrender in the broad term or liberation in the broad term can be yes. On the ultimate level, getting out of this material world, some will merge, some will go to Vaikuntha, some will go to different. So this all facilities will be there. But yes, the whole facility is given one who understands. It may take a long time for someone who's a slow practitioner, or we find many of them, as I said, that dharma, artha, kama, moksha is a purushartha. Many of them, even by following karma kanda, they do nice karma, artha, kama, and kama. And for better karma, they want to go for what? Heavenly planets. Moksha doesn't. He continues that. I'm just giving an example. So he does dharma, nice yajnas and all those things. He gets prosperity. You see, artha is not always money. From yajna, what money you will get? You have to spend money in the yajna. Artha means prosperity. Prosperity. Usually our thought is like that. And kama means always sex life. It's not sex life. It's like our kamas, desires getting fulfilled. So can you imagine? By doing yajna, by performing that, your prosperity is coming, your come and hope. Next life will be in the heavenly planet. See, we are allured by small. Google is giving 20 lakhs. Immediately, Prabhuji, 20 lakhs ka package aa gaya hai. Prabhuji, aaj mehnat. With that, we are allured. What to speak of somebody is giving higher packages and higher this thing and on a universal level? How much more people will be allured? It's not so easy. So, but he goes to the heavenly planets and comes down. In between, when he's following Dharma, Prabhu, always remember the Brahmanas are there. The things are. So they get to hear the scriptures. And he himself is also experiencing that cycle of going up, going down. And wonderful. This is, and that scriptures also at a higher level, as he's under the guidance of the Brahmanas, and he hears something higher also, right? But his focus is not going towards that. And that this cycle, he getting frustrated also. He should understand there is higher. And when somebody tells him much more higher than this in the Brahma Loka, then he desires for much more higher. And he says, Arey, beyond this, there is spiritual world. Now, it's not that previously also he might have heard. He might have heard. But that is not ready to accept it. Because of the modes, because of his, the independent will that he's exercising. Right? And people have that right. And Krishna is facilitating. Let us say he's not at all in the fold of Vedic in any way. Neither he's practicing karma kanda, neither anything, neither demigod worship. See what hope you give to that person. Tell me. Where is the hint for him at all coming out of this material existence? People after reading Vedas also don't get hint. What to speak of people who don't get to get knowledge only, you tell me. Is it clear, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you.
I think this same comes in Brihad Bhagavatamrita of Gop Kumar. He literally goes through every planetary system of this material world and even Vaikuntha. So
but his is like going even in the spiritual path. He says higher. We are just talking about at least coming to the spiritual path.
Yes.
And true,
right,
correct.
Right, yeah.
Thank you for that. Yes, Mudal Krishna, please tell me.
Prabhuji, wanted to ask, like when we say demigod, then other than Krishna and his avatars, everyone comes under that, even Lord Shiva also.
Lord Shiva is a different tattva altogether. At one level, yes, he's a demigod, but he's a supreme demigod. In that. But if you see his position, he's not like Brahma. Brahma has a position. He's a living entity who's qualified to become Brahma. All of us know that. Whereas sometimes when there is no qualified living entity, Lord himself takes the position of Brahma in order to create in particular universe. But Lord Shiva's case, although he's categorized in, all of us know that he has his Sadashiv planet, Sadashiv Loka, which is at the junction of the spiritual world and the material world. It is in between. And his Shambhu Tattva is a totally different category. It doesn't come into the Jiva Tattva. So he has a unique position, Prabhu, when compared to the Brahma or other Jivas. And yes, when he comes here into this material world, yes, he's accepted as one of the demigods. But his position is not as equal to that of the other demigods. That has to be very clear. His form is Sachidananda form. That has to be clear. Although he appears from Brahmaji as Brahmaji's son and all that, but Sadashiva is always is living in that Sadashiva planet. You'll find in the we have this picture of universal whole thing also. That center portion in between, it is there. He's there with Uma. Is this clear? So that's why when we speak also there is Jiva Tattva, this Tattva. When we speak about Shambhu Tattva separately, it cannot be equated.
Guruji, then Lakshmiji, will it be under demigod only or not?
See, Lakshmiji has been put under demigod, but if you see, she is the internal potency of the Lord. Internal potency of Lord. But when she, in this material world, when we see, actually she is Chanchala Lakshmi, not that Lakshmi, mother goddess. And whereas when we worship Lakshmi, we worship Lakshmi Narayan. That Lakshmi is our mother goddess who will take us to devotion. But if you are just after money, then her form here will be like for that Chanchala Lakshmi, that one who's looking after what, which will thoroughly purify accordingly. Right? You have heard this, right? Word about Chanchala Lakshmi also. So in that sense, she can be said as a demigod, but not ultimately. Otherwise, Radharani or Lakshmiji's or any form avatar of the Lord, Lakshmiji is always accompanied. She is not a Jiva Tattva. When we say demigod, usually they are Jiva Tattvas. That has to be very clear. Is it clear?
Yes, Vaji. Thank you.
And there will be exceptions. Lakshmiji is an exception. Like Brahmaji cannot be an exception for another tattva, or he is a Jiva, I said very clearly. Whereas Shambhu is a different thing. Okay, thank you. Yes, Srikar Prabhu.
Guruji, Shambhu Tattva and Sadashiva are different. I thought it
No. Tattva is mentioning that, what you call, what it is. And whereas Sadashiva is having that Shambhu Tattva. Shambhu Tattva means Sadashiva only. It's not like separate.
I was thinking like they are same, but just now I got question.
No, they're not two things. I'm just telling Sadashiva, there is a separate Tattva. Just like Jiva Tattva means you will not call, no? Demigod is and Rakshas are in Jiva Tattva. No, they are all Jiva Tattva only. But who's there? Similarly, Shambhu Tattva, who will be there? Lord Shiva will be there. Which Shiva, if you specifically say, then that is Sadashiva, who's there in that junction of this spiritual world. Is it okay? Okay. Shantha Prabhu, so I beg all of your permission. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.